It was. So this was a case where on January 11th, 2024, a caregiver walked into her daughter's bedroom and observed her boyfriend at the time exposing himself in front of the face of her 10-year-old daughter while he was reaching across towards her 5-year-old daughter. He immediately tries to pull up his pants. They start arguing. She calls 911. And then he proceeds to start putting clothes on so that he can leave. He ends up leaving the scene and walking in a different direction than the entrance of the location. And 911 come out, law enforcement come out. Deputies interview her and talk with her. She's very emotional after what she observed. They end up locating the suspect about a street or two over from the location, and they bring him back to the scene. He is arrested that night for indecency. The children are then forensically interviewed at Children's Safe Harbor by Kelly Garcia. She does an excellent job, and they end up disclosing to the defendant penetrating their vaginas with his finger on multiple occasions for about 6 months. And then we up the charges to a continuous sexual abuse of a child. The trial was very difficult. It's always difficult with a great attorney like Bill Patillo. He's been doing this for a very long time, and he handles a lot of these types of cases, and he did very well. It's also very difficult when you have kids on the stand and you have to put them in a courtroom with their abuser. The children were 11 and 7 at the time that they testified. This is the first time that they had seen him since the abuse, since mom had walked in on them in January of 2024, so it was very difficult for them. But ultimately the jury, I believe, came to the correct verdict, and Judge Hafley sentenced him to what I believe is very appropriate.
We did. These are hard cases, and we call these the capital murder of child abuse cases in a sense. I think it's important, Scott, to say to folks in Montgomery County, because they see a lot of these cases, we don't have more sex offenders in our county than other places. We don't. What we have is law enforcement who are ready to investigate these cases and prosecutors who are ready to prosecute them. These are tough. These are really tough cases, but we'll fight them out. The two things have to happen. We have to believe that the child has been abused ourselves, and then we have to believe we can prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. And if those two things are present, then we're going to make sure that person goes to prison. Not probation, prison. Other counties will put folks on probation. It's our mindset that if you've done this to a child, there is one and only one place you can go. That is to prison, and that's what we'll do. And that's what Lianne and her co-counsel, Brittney did in this case. These are tough fights. The defense attorney in this case, very skilled, and I'm so appreciative of good defense attorneys, but we are going to bring it.
You got a pretty good team on these sex offenders, and basically a whole division almost.
We have an excellent team, and you know, Scott, there are men and women who care a great deal, and when they hear and they believe and they can prove that somebody's put their hands on a child, you know, it reminds me of a line from one of my favorite movies, Tombstone, when Kurt Russell says, look, I'm coming and hell's coming with me. That's what my men and women are doing. They will bring hell to bear. Now, it'll be fair blows, but they will be hard. Nobody hits harder than our prosecutors.
All right.